Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the penultimate episode of The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7, Chapter 23, The Spies. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. If you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, somewhat, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, and sorry for being late. I had a little farty dog going on, so that's what happens sometimes. Let's get started, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to pause, whatever you need to do. All right. So I can't believe the armorer sold them out. Yeah, she is totally in on it. So this episode, of course, is called The Spies. We get Elia Kane, of course, still on Coruscant. She ends up telling Grand Moff Gideon that the Mandalorians are gathering, and he's like, oh, can't have that because we're going to stomp the shit out of that one. And so, of course, he has his spy in the Mandalorians, which is the armorer. Think about it for a second. She never goes on missions, unless everyone's going, unless the entire clan is going. This one, she volunteered for the, I guess you could say, the exploratory mission to find the forge. And why? Because she is supposedly the knowledge, the repository of the Mandalorian culture. Why would she risk her life going out there doing this when she could have stayed with the rest of the fleet? And also, why did she have to ferry all the wounded people back to the fleet just before Moff Gideon shows up, of course, unless she's not in on this, of course. And also we left it with her going towards the fleet, the Mandalorian fleet, and we never saw what happened to them. And Grand Moff Gideon does say something ominous about wiping out the rest of the Mandalorians, basically finishing off the purge, as he puts it. Yeah, that was just something else. We got the Imperial Commandos, like I said, we were going to see. That was no surprise. We were going to have the Imperial Commandos in here, whether we liked it or not. Having Moff Gideon in the Dark Trooper armor and have him being upgrade to the Dark Trooper armor was interesting. It was a neat surprise, and him boasting about how he would keep Mandalorian culture alive within himself as the Dark Trooper there, as he stomps out all the rest of the Mandalorians. And of course the capturing of Din Djarin, which was kind of a weird thing. Why did they just block off Din Djarin and left everyone? I don't know. It was just kind of a weird. And the thing is, Moff Gideon knew that bo-katan had the dark saber and she could cut her way out of there. So why did he leave them trapped in that little tiny space there if he already knew that they were going to be able to escape that? And why not just have them all have to face the Imperial commandos? I don't know. There's something else that's going on there. But this episode also ties in the J.J. Abrams trilogy as well. We get Project Necromancer, which of course is allusion to the Emperor being revived. So that's where this is all coming in, and we see the Shadow Council and some of the members of the Shadow Council, Brendel Hux, who is the brother of another Hux, Admiral Hux, excuse me, from the original trilogy. And it's actually played by the brother of that person too, which is kind of funny. Brian Gleason is actually the brother of, oh, I can't remember his name now, but another Gleason who played the original Admiral Hux there. So that was kind of interesting. And excuse me, we also had Captain Pelion, who keeps talking about Thrawn. Thrawn's coming back. Thrawn is imminent. Thrawn is going to be coming back. For those of you who don't know who Captain Pelion is, in the books, the Thrawn books, he is actually Thrawn's right hand man. So he knows, obviously, he's going to know if Thrawn's coming or not. And this is kind of interesting, seeing that Thrawn is, I guess, the linchpin into bringing the Emperor back with Project Necromancer, which isn't surprising, quite honestly, because in the books, Thrawn and the Emperor are actually buddy buddy for all, for a good majority of all of this. Domhnall Gleeson, thank you. Yes, Domhnall Gleeson uh, was the one who played Admiral Hux, and Brian Gleeson is his brother. So, and he's actually supposed to be Brendel Hux is supposed to be the son of Admiral Hux. There we go, not the brother of. That's where I got mixed up there. So yeah, everything is tying into old trilogy, new trilogy, everything else in between. We're definitely getting Heir to the Empire is what we're going with here. So once Thrawn comes in Ahsoka, um, and then of course we're gonna have another season of The Mandalorian. I know that the Rey movie that they've just announced, which takes place 15 years after the J.J. Abrams trilogy, um, that's supposed to air first, and then the Dave Filoni Mandalorian trilogy, it's going to be a trilogy, is supposed to happen after that, which is going to be Heir to the Empire. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be Heir to the Empire, which takes place in between um 6 and 7. Yeah, there we go. And after the Mandalorian and Ahsoka, if you get the timelines there. I'm probably going to have to do a video on the timelines and where all this is, because it's confusing for if you're not a Star Wars fan, or you're a casual Star Wars fan, or you just really are confused by what the fuck is happening and when. So, which is understandable. I did find it weird that they hollowed out IG-11's body and made him IG-12 and made him a pilotable body for Grogu to it just seemed kind of weird. Like, hey, let's honor this guy who, this robot that this droid that saved, little Grogu by having Grogu use him as a vehicle. It just seemed kind of morbid. It was, I don't know, it was just weird. I did like the yes no buttons. It did make me laugh. Yes, I am, 5 years old, so but the yes, 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 I don't know, it just made me laugh. It seemed like something that he would do. It really did. And then, of course, we get the Praetorian Guards taking down Paz Vizsla, which I really thought Paz Vizsla was in on it with the armorer, but he's not. He wasn't. He was actually a devotee of bo-katan near the at the end there, and told her, "Get the fuck out! There's too many of these guys. I'm gonna take them down." So yeah, they did weaken at burning him. They really did. They really did, Raymond. Um, yeah, that was Paz had a he went out well, I have to admit. Paz Vizsla did go out well. He took down a fucking shit ton of Imperial commandos, but he wasn't able to take down the three Praetorian guards that were coming after him. There's no way in hell he was doing that. So yeah, the armorer is totally in on this, and that's gonna suck. I also did love Din Djarin talking about kind of bolstering Bo-Katan after she told the story about how she lost the dark saber to Moff Gideon, which we finally got that story was that she actually handed it off to him to save the rest of Mandalore because it was supposed to be a deal. And of course, the Empire welched on it and did the Night of Tears there, and of course the Purge of Mandalore. So yeah, she man, and with Din saying, it's more honor than it is bloodlines or anything like that, and you know, calling her Lady Bo-Katan. So that whole thing uh kind of cements his wanting to follow her, at this point. And yeah, so it kind of bolstered her as a leader as well. And then of course when she finds the survivors of Mandalore that are piloting that skiff thing there, and how they are actually also uh still indebted to her, or at least loyal to her, I should say, even after everything that happened, and how they stayed on Mandalore this entire time. So, yeah. And of course, seeing the Great Forge. I mean, we got to see the Great Forge as well. So this is a good episode all the way around. I still want to know what the fuck that big gigantic creature was that came up and out of the ground and took out the skiff, because that thing was huge. That was bigger than a mythosaur, that's for sure. And we know that Bo-Katan said, "Hey, there's a lot of danger on the surface of Mandalore. A lot of ancient uh, creatures, a lot of have been awakened by the bombings and everything, and it's a dangerous place." So, hence the exploratory mission to go down there. So, all in all, a good episode. It leaves things on a cliffhanger, of course, because we're going to get the season finale next week. Um, and of course, there's going to be giveaways here. So, as usual. But this was good stuff. I know there's a lot of haters out there right now talking about this isn't Star Wars. Just go watch something else, man. Go watch Andor again if that's what you want for your adult Star Wars or whatever it is that you want to do. There are so many different kinds of Star Wars out there now for you to choose from. You don't need to watch this if that's not your bag, you know. Andor wasn't my bag. I finished it because I was actually more interested in the Mon Mothma story than I was on Andor. And I'm actually kind of hoping they continue the Mon Mothma story in the final season of Andor. And well, I'm guessing that's what's going to happen anyway, is that they're not going to be paying that much attention to Andor, even though it's the title of the show. But yeah, and the Mandalorian does not refer to Din Djarin. It's the Mandalorian is all Mandalorians. Filoni and Favreau have both said this already. They just said this at Star Wars Celebration, as a matter of fact. That's what it references. It doesn't reference one person, it references all of them, you know. So it can be anybody. It can be Bo-Katan, it could be Paz Vizsla, it could be the Armorer. Anybody who's a Mandalorian, that's what the title is about, is the Mandalorian. Maybe a little bit, Raymond, but you know what? That's fine. I'm okay with that. Um, I'm sure that what's her face, Cara Dune, you know, uh, anti-vaxxer woman, who she threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. I'm fairly sure. I'm sure they had a bigger part in season 3 that was supposed to tie together with the Rangers of the New Republic. And yeah, I'm fairly sure that shit canned some of their story, or Favreau's story, but he still needed to keep to the timeline of events in order to get it out. So of course they're tying this in all to I'm disappointed that they have to tie it into the J.J. Abrams trilogy. I get it; it's canon now. We can't go away from it, and unfortunately, there's no way to make it better. Because those are just horrible movies. They really are, and a horrible storyline. Look, I'm back from the dead. I'm a clone. So yeah, whatever. Speaking of clones, as Moff Gideon is walking through to down that lighted path as you see in my thumbnail, getting to the armor, he actually passes by a couple of pods of looks like clones, right? So we don't know who that is. And this also brings up the subject of who in the fuck is Snoke. Maybe we might actually get who Snoke is. Maybe it's actually Grand Moff Gideon. Hmm? Maybe Grand Moff Gideon is actually Snoke. That could be interesting. Yes, I know Snoke is supposed to be a Force user, but do you remember he was actually experimenting with midichlorians and all that kind of stuff as well? So who knows? Who knows where we're at there? But good episode, lots of fun, and lots of action. I mean, I had a good time with this, and I'm looking forward to the season finale next week. And like I said, there's going to be some giveaway stuff. I get something coming in the mail, which I wasn't expecting, honestly, and now that it's coming here, that's probably going to be part of the giveaway. I won't spoil what it is unless if it doesn't come on time, so that's why, But anyway, you'll see what it is next week. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, this week is going to be a little bit light because, well, one, there's nothing really out there at the moment, and two, it's actually real Easter this week. It's actually Orthodox Easter this week, not that heathen stuff that the Catholics when they split off and made that stupid calendar in 1582. Anyway, so yeah, Sunday is going to be my next day on, and that is, yes, I know it's Easter Sunday, but I'm going to be doing a really short Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week, any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, we talk about. And then of course Monday and Tuesday I'll be off, and then we roll back around again to Wednesday with the Mandalorian season finale, and we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, Raymond, for joining me in the chat. I know there's some other people that were joining me in the chat here too, but they're lurking is what they're doing there. Thank you, everybody who joined in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be alive again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Sunday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get trapped inside of a little tiny boxed room while one of your guys is trapped outside. And I don't know. I don't know why it happened, but it did. But someone has a dark saber and they can cut their way out. Anyway, it's a long story. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Sunday. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, and have a good rest of your night. Thanks, everybody. Good night.